What is going on, guys? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, bringing you another daily video. Today's video is going to be a cheap mask conversion video. We're going to take this crappy $5 grandma mask that I got on clearance at Walmart, and we are going to turn it into a witch, some sort of wicked witch. No game plan here. I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens. So yeah, hopefully she turns out cool. Items you're going to need for this little mask conversion, aside from a witch hat, just pretty much any wearable witch hat, and an old woman mask. You can get the one that we got it at Walmart. You can pretty much freestyle it with the old woman mask. I'm pretty sure any old woman mask is going to work. So you're going to need, obviously, a paintbrush. You're going to need some different acrylic paints. As you can see, we're all doing like witchy green stuff and brown, stuff like that. X-Acto and or scissors. Hot glue gun, some of these foam sponge brush things, vinyl and fabric and plastic glue, and it's important that you get this particular type of glue. Loctite sells it. It's probably going to be the one that you find anyways, so yeah. And black Plasti Dip, not clear Plasti Dip like we normally use. It is important to have black Plasti Dip. I think this is actually cheaper than the clear stuff anyways, so. And a lighter. You're going to need a lighter, maybe, if you choose to use one. It's up to you. Alright, so the first thing I did was take off this stupid bandana, or handkerchief or whatever. We're not going to need that anymore. You should be left with a somewhat bald, odd-haired type lady. And we're going to leave these eyebrows on for this first step, which might not make sense at first, but you'll start to understand why we're leaving those on. Before we repaint it and all that. So we're going to take it outside, get our black Plasti Dip, and cover the entire thing with a base coat, and then we'll come back in and start doing the actual paint work. Alright, so we've got our witch outside. We're going to use our black Plasti Dip here to give her a nice base coat. Do not worry about the hair. I know most witches have gray hair or silver hair, but we're going to go for a nasty, dirty, gross witch. So her hair is going to be a nice, disgusting black color. So that should leave you with a little racist blackface old lady. We're going to let that dry. As you can see, the hair is kind of gray, dirty, gross, black, nasty. We'll let that dry and we'll come back to it. So while we're waiting for the witch base coat to dry, I'm just going to put some acrylic paint down on a piece of paper. As you can see, this is just real cheap Walmart acrylic paint. Got dark green here. And probably go in with some medium green, just kind of a nice witchy color. And you want this to overpower that, so this is going to be just a little bit darker than what we've got here in our hands. Okay, so now that our witch is nice and dry, we've got our green mixed up here, nice witchy green. We can take these little dabbing sponges and start laying some color over everywhere. Try to avoid the teeth if possible, and then also you don't want to touch the hair. You want to give a nice little you know, don't stain the hair, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So as you can see, we've got a nice, nasty, witchy, goblin-y coat of paint on there. It kind of looks patchy right now because some of it's wet and some of it's drying, but it should tone out to be like a gross looking skin. As you can see, we left the black back here just open and did somewhat around the neck, and the hat will come into play a little bit later. We're going to let this dry right now, and then we're going to come back and work on the teeth and some of like the eye areas and stuff like that. So we'll see you in just a second. Mask is all dry. Next up, we're going to use this X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors, whatever you got available, and we're going to remove some teeth if you want. You can remove whatever teeth you want. I just know that when I think about witches, I think about them having like a couple teeth in their head. So I'm going to take out whatever teeth I want to. Be careful when you do this. I don't want you to cut yourself. I got the teeth that I wanted out. I'm going to go ahead and start painting around the lips and the teeth. Gonna lay out some yellow and some white here and mix those together until you get a nice nasty smoker's tooth looking collar. So as you can see, we've got a nice yellow white, kind of just an off gross collar. And another thing you can do is mix this with brown after another tooth. That way each tooth has like a slightly different collar. I'll go ahead and apply this on there and show you. The technique that I'm going to use is called dry brushing, and basically you just want to get as little paint on the brush as possible, and you want to go over real quickly just the top. You don't want to go into any sort of creases or crevices or anything like that. That way all of your blacks that are down low stay black and your highlights come to the top, just like in real life. Now you've got a gross looking tooth standing out there, and obviously we're going to go back in and do some more to these teeth. But now you've got your base in there. It doesn't have to be pretty. She's a nasty old witch anyway, so I'm going to go in and darken this a little bit with some brown, and then I'll come back and do that tooth, and then we'll do some yellow layers. So I just did the other tooth in a slightly different color. As you can see, we've got some lines here, like some white latex showing through where we cut the teeth out. And I'm just going to take some black real lightly and kind of go over those so that you don't see them anymore. That was actually my fault. We should have cut before we painted, but it's okay. Not that big of a deal at all. There you go. Just like new. Nasty witch mouth. The last thing we're going to do on these teeth is go straight yellow around the edges. Basically what I've done is just picked up yellow without really rinsing my brush at all. And I'm just going around real lightly on the edges, and please excuse my terrible painting and camera work. I'm doing this all by myself with one hand. And just bring out that highlight, kind of fade it into the middle. As you can see, that gives it a little more definition. You can do these to whatever teeth you want. Not all these teeth are going to be uniform because they've all been through some different shit, because they are nasty old witch teeth. Let's just make that whole thing yellow. How's that? Now they definitely stand out a little bit better. Cool thing about this mask is that there's a lot of textures in the sculpt, a lot of line work, and a lot of, like, I don't know what these are called. I'm going to call them blackheads because they look fucking gross. But you can actually accent those with that same color that you just did on the teeth, and you just want to dab randomly. Kind of fade it out. You can even use your finger, kind of rub over it a little bit. And it's just going to give it a gross look. I don't really know what, but it's your witch. You can do whatever you want to it. So this is all about making a cool mask out of no money and very little supplies. Put some on her nose. Just fade it out however you want. As light as you want or as dark as you want. You can put those wherever you want, and when they dry, they're going to dry a little darker than what they are right now, so it won't look like she has some weird, like, measles, mumps, chicken pox, weird thing going on. So let that dry, we'll come back, we'll do some stuff to the eyes, and then we will wrap it up, we'll add the hat, and good to go. Went ahead and added some of that yellow white color around the eyes here, just to give it like a little gross crusty eye look. And what you can do with this glue, because when this glue dries, it glues kind of thick, it'll stay wet looking. You can take your brush and add some there and brush it over, and it'll give it a wet glossy look, like she's got some gross crusty eye boogers forming. Feel free to slap it on the teeth too. Make them look kind of wet and gross. So I may have went a little bit crazy with the glue. Like I said, I had no game plan going into this. I was just going to be literally making a mask out of a cheap mask for you guys. And I actually really like the way that that looks as like a cannibalistic, gross, drooling witch with like boogers, and she's pretty gross looking. So yeah, feel free to do whatever you want. You don't have to do everything that I'm doing in this video. Like I said, I'm just making it up as I go. So just have fun with it. That's all I'm doing right now. And I actually really like the way it's turning out. I wasn't so sure at the beginning, but now I am pretty certain that this might be one of my favorite cheap mask conversions. And we're not even done yet. One of the last things we're going to do is attach the hat. But before we do that, we need to distress it a little bit. I found this hat for like 99 cents at a thrift shop. I'm sure they have them at like Spirit Halloween and stuff. Pretty cheap, so I figured it'd be a good addition. First we need to distress it, so we're going to be using a lighter to burn some of it, maybe cut some of it up. Once again, just have fun with it. Don't hurt yourself. I do not want you to fucking hurt yourself. Please don't. And yeah, so let's see what we can do. Okay, now that we've got the hat nice and distressed, bunch of holes and rips and tears, we can break out our old friend hot glue gun. Let it warm up. Now, my hat has a problem where it doesn't stay up. For whatever reason, there's no support there. So, what you can do is take plastic bags, paper towels, something of the sort. Look, we can even use the bandana that came on the original mask. And then your hat will stay up. Good to go. So now that our hat stays up and our hot glue gun is warmed up, we just basically want to line glue around any part that you think might be touching the mask. That way we have a firm hold and the hat is not going to fall off of the mask. And then firmly place it on the mask. Try to hit all the points that you think the glue's at, that way it makes as much contact with the mask as possible. Give it a few minutes to dry, and then we'll take it outside and look at what we've done. So here we are, finished product. If you followed along with my terribly made video, I'm sorry, I really need a tripod, but I'm trying until we get the camera. If you followed along, you should have something along the lines of this, or not, whatever you want to do. I don't give a shit, do you. But yeah, basically balling on a budget. I think we've got a really neat looking witch here, for cheap, obviously. So yeah. If you guys have enjoyed today's video and would like to see more of these cheap mask conversions, maybe featuring other people as well, let me know. Leave a like down below. I'll judge it based off of your likes. And if you want to comment with some ideas or whatever, feel free to do so. But yeah, until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you later.